Well, no doubt that will be gratefully received, or will it? I'm not sure. Somebody, yes, there. Who's got the mic?
We were talking about, I can't help it because I see all these as not a conspiracy theorist or something, I hate it, but as a movement that is just beyond some scientific discussion. As you said, it's not science really. So what is the alliance behind all this propaganda in US, in everywhere? So let me draw the attention again to Saudi Arabia, for example. Do you know about their biology education? Do they have creationism? Could it be them to support this book? Or do they really respect science?
I don't know the answer to that question. I can guess, but I dare say there may be some people here. My understanding is that since Islam takes the Quran literally, whereas Christianity doesn't, except for certain branches of Christianity, we would expect that the norm, the default position for Islam would be that every word of the Quran is literally true. And therefore, the story of creation would be taken as literally true, and the story of Adam and Eve is taken as literally true, etc. But there are many people in the room who can perhaps disabuse me of that. My impression is there's very little evolution taught in countries that are dominated by Islam. Ibn, do you know whether that's true? I don't know that. No, okay. Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, I'm Usman. Thanks for your talk. I was I'm wondering whether you'd heard of Pervez Hoodbhoy in Pakistan and his work. I mean, I think he's a rationalist scientist, and he's written a lot about how, just as in the evolution thing you've talked about, how physics department in the University of Punjab in Pakistan, where he's fought a battle against religious scientists who try and show that there's a causal effect between praying and rain happening. And he's produced a lot of videos and things to rebut this. And I was wondering, perhaps through a foundation or anything like that, whether there was a way to finance these kind of projects supporting rationalism. Because the odds are against us in many parts of the world.
Yes, thank you for that suggestion. I was not aware of this particular individual that you mentioned, but obviously, from what you say, I salute him. And I would be interested in trying to support such people. Thank you. Yes.
Just an answer to your question about evolution in Islamic countries. I'm from Syria, and in our science books we do have they do say something about evolution. The books, however, the teachers they abstained from teaching the theory, and they, as I remember, as a student, the teachers told us that you don't have to go through it and read it because you won't be asked about it in examinations. So they just completely ignore it. Suppose Syria is more liberal than other countries, but that's the case.
Thank you. That's useful. That's the same in some parts of America as well. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, a dead end, I suppose, would just mean a lineage that died out, of which there are vast numbers. That's certainly true. So they wouldn't look like intermediates necessarily, but something more than 99% of the species that have ever lived have gone extinct, and so in that sense they're dead ends. I think yes.
Oh, hello.
Yes. Who am I looking at? Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. We'll have one. Is the microphone going upstairs?
Or if you could repeat your question.
I could repeat the question, okay. Yes, the questioner has recently met people who believe in an Abrahamic deity and in evolution. What's that about? Well, that's true of most respectable Christians and Jews. It is true of the Archbishop of Canterbury. It's true of the Pope with certain reservations. It's true of most of the bishops and educated priests. So there's nothing unusual nowadays in combining belief in an Abrahamic deity and in evolution. When you say, what's that about? I mean, I agree with the implication of your question that there is a certain incompatibility, but that's not the way they see it. Yes, that's the other one next door. Now we've got a microphone too.
Hi, I'm from Pakistan. I teach at university there. And first of all, I'd like to say that the lady who recommended Pervez Hoodboy, that's an excellent recommendation. He is arguably the foremost rationalist and scientist in Pakistan, and I would highly recommend you working with him. When I began to teach at the Lahore University of Management Sciences, and I was teaching in part sections of your book, The God Delusion, and my friend in the biology department was also teaching evolution. Suddenly, at our university, we saw this series of books come into the library of Harun Yahya. And the right-wing faculty members began to encourage our students to read Harun Yahya, particularly in opposition to what you had been writing. So I'm wondering if you are intending to or have already written anything that specifically, as your talk does today, specifically answer to some of the rubbish that he's been putting.
Well, I mean, there is the article on my website, which is the one that precipitated his temporarily successful attempt to ban the website. So that's richarddawkins.net, and then if you search for Yahya, you'll find it, and that has, I think, most of the pictures, not the one of the incontinence pad, but the ones of the various. That was okay. Never mind. The ones of the various animals are all there. I mean, I should call the attention of your students to these spectacular howlers like the fishing hook, and the snake and the eel and the crinoid and the sabellid worm. Yes. Oh, sorry, the mic's up there. Any more upstairs before we? Yeah.
Do you agree with Steve Jones that evolution has come to an end or stalled? And are we the living end of
I think evolution? Since that's got so little to do with this Islamic conference, I'll duck that question. It's the commonest question I get asked after every lecture, and I can hold forth for half an hour. But I think, with your forgiveness, I won't. We better wait for the mic. Well, I can repeat the question, okay. Yes. The questioner is proud to be an ape, and so am I. Is this told to children in non-faith schools, or indeed, I suppose, in faith schools? I don't think that many people, even who teach evolution, actually tell children you are an ape. It would be a very good thing to do, because it is literally strictly true. It's strictly true in the following sense. If you plot a tree diagram, like the one I showed you of the protostomes and deuterostomes, humans come in the middle of the ape tree. So what that means is that humans are closer cousins to chimpanzees than chimpanzees are to gorillas or orangutans. Therefore, if there is a thing called an ape, which includes chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, and gibbons, then it cannot exclude humans. There is no zoological category, no taxonomic category, which includes chimpanzees, bonobos, gorillas, and orangutans and gibbons, and